Good evening, you're watching The Full View on this Reconciliation Day. My name is Mich Atagana. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. A little bit later on, we'll be speaking to newly elected PAC leader Mzwanele Nyonzo. We also look at South Africa's top searches on Google this year. Mich Atagana is standing by from Google South Africa to give you more of an insight into what South Africans have been searching. That's going to be a very interesting discussion. For now, let's take a look at your headlines at this hour. Another horror crash, this time in the northwest, claiming 13 lives, most of them from one family. 10 others were injured. President Cyril Ramaphosa says a failure to resolve the land issue will threaten efforts of reconciliation.
The Stars will win by 8 wickets. They won't worry about the margin of victory.
The Jersey Stars are the champions of the inaugural Mzansi Super League. The Stars beat the Cape Town Blitz a short while ago by 8 wickets at a packed Newlands Stadium in Cape Town. Google processes more than 40,000 search queries every second. This translates to more than 1 billion searches per day and 1.2 trillion searches per year worldwide. Google announced the results of its 2018 year in search, offering a unique perspective on the year's major moments and top trends based on searches conducted in South Africa. This year's trending searches show that South Africans have a keen interest in local celebrities, news and events, with 6 of the top 10 trending search terms being local. From the World Cup to listeriosis, former President Jacob Zuma and Global Citizen, South Africans use Google to search to find the things they really need to know. For more on the story, I'm joined by Mich Atagana, Head of Communications and Public Affairs at Google South Africa. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News.
Thank you so much for having me.
What are we looking for?
Oh, it's been an interesting year for us, and I think for South Africa as well. I'm super excited about this list this year because there's a lot more local content, which is really nice to see. So like you said, listeriosis, Zuma, Global Citizen, to the questions people ask Google, like how to get pregnant, for instance, and how much Global Citizen tickets cost, or what happened to WHP. So it's very interesting to see what people are looking for.
What do you do with the information that you find when people are searching?
So the way we look at it, it's just a combination of searches. So I don't know what you search, for instance, as an individual. It's just a bunch of different searches that show up on our trending list. So this list is the trending list. What that means is that it is searches that were high volume over a certain period of time. So from January to December. And what we saw was the interest for South Africans of moving very current affairs. So what is happening around them, what is happening in the world, but also what's happening locally, which is really, really important. So Winnie Madikizela was on the list as well. Cheryl Zondi was on the list. And if you look at things like the current issues facing the country, like Jacob Zuma resigning earlier in the year, that also made the list, with Cyril Ramaphosa being second in the personality list and Zuma being 1 in the personality list. So.
On a lighter note, South Africans are also very interested in local celebrities.
Yes, absolutely. So it's so funny because we released another list a few weeks ago, the YouTube list, and Mlondi the vocalist was on that list, and I didn't know who that was, and then I saw the song called I'm a Blesser. So he's the only musician in South Africa that actually made that list, and he's also on the search list this year, which is really amazing. So yeah, definitely local celebrities and also local issues. So Global Citizen, listeriosis, the new National Prosecutor Director Shmilam Bahoti is also on the list. So it's things like that are interesting to South Africans, but they're also looking for fun things like, you know, things like Global Citizen, or the things like I talked about how to get pregnant, or just how old is Prince Harry. So things like that are interesting to them, or what time the royal wedding is. So also fun, entertaining things are interested.
So what does Google do with this information? Because you're sharing it with us now, but surely you do more than just tell us these are the top searches in South Africa for this year.
It's mostly for the benefit of the user. So it's so a few months ago, I think it was around April this year, we launched an app called Google Go, and the idea is for you to know what's happening around you. So if you have like a low bandwidth phone and you're not searching, search is not as working as well for you, it's a way for you to not have to think about what you search for, but also look at what is trending around you. So it's things like that. It's also giving you kind of almost like, what is the mind of the nation? What are South Africans thinking about? What is the zeitgeist? So really, we've been releasing these lists for about 12 years now. It's just to know So what do South Africans think? Is the thing we feel is important to South Africans really the things that are important to South Africans? Yeah.
And when you weigh that up, I know you spoke about current affairs and quite a local focus. Is that what you found across all the different search engine entries of South Africans, that they focus quite locally, or is there a lot of international content as well?
There's definitely some international content. Like if you look at our women's list, you find something like Aretha Franklin's on the list. One of the questions people asked was how old Pharrell Williams is. And Pharrell Williams obviously
seem like he's aging.
I feel like, we just need to know. The people need to know, right? But if you also look at other categories, so we had about 7 categories this year. So you look at a category like near me, and you have Nando's near me, for instance, on the list, McDonald's near me. But more importantly, the first query on that is jobs near me. And that really means it's important for the nation because the unemployment rate, especially in South Africa, youth unemployment rate is really high. So it means people are not just searching for frivolous things, they're also looking for things to help grow their families. But this is in a new insight because we've had this jobs near me query come up a few times. It's actually inspired us to add jobs features within search to help people find jobs closer to them because proximity matters, salary and qualification and those things matters. So absolutely, there's definitely international interest because we're a country that loves to know what's happening outside our borders, but there's definitely more local, which I'm happy to see.
So interesting that you brought up the jobs feature and how you tweak that to make sure that it is an easier user experience. Would you do the same thing perhaps with an issue like health? I know you were speaking about people looking at how to get pregnant and all of that.
Absolutely. So we have also a health knowledge panel. So if you have and this is in collaboration with medical institutions, because we know people go to Google to go, I have the symptoms, oh my gosh, do I have cancer? But what we've done is we've partnered with reputable medical institutions. So when you do put in your symptoms, we can tell you, okay, this could be one of 3 things, but go to a medical professional. So we do have also health search as well that helps people.
Google is a very simple search engine to use. Is there a way that you can share with users now how to simplify it even more, get the best out of it when they're doing these searches?
Absolutely. So that's why I was talking about Google Go, which we launched earlier this year. It really is a basic app you download it from the Play Store, and without even thinking about it, sometimes when you go on search, you're not quite sure what you're looking for. You have ideas and you want to just type in words, but it will tell you if it's something that's popular around you, it will show you what's already trending, so you can easily search for it. But it also helps you with basic information. Sometimes you want to send a good morning message to someone in the morning, but you don't want to have to figure it out. It will give you a list of already existing good morning messages that you can already send to people. So
thanks so much for your time on SABC News, Head of Communications and Public Affairs at Google South Africa, Mich Atagana.